Welcome to another episode of Marriage Monday. I'm Aaron, this is my wife, Michelle. Our goal for these is just to help people to learn something new, to help cultivate better marriages that last a lifetime. Today we're going to be talking about the 5 love languages. This might be something that you've heard of before, but if this is something that's new for you, love languages is just a really awesome way to understand what it is about your spouse that helps them to feel love. And it also is great for family members, coworkers, friends, things like that. Understanding what fills that other person's love tank can go a long way in helping your relationship just to be that much better.
Yeah, and I think about relationships, and I think about all these doors in this house, and they all have like different locks on them, and that's how this part of understanding your spouse can be, where you find a key that can unlock that door and it opens up another world of possibilities and experiences within your relationship. And so this is a simple key that could help just unlock a lot of good things in your relationship. Sure. And so this is all stemmed from a book that we found early on in our relationship, and it's called The 5 Love Languages. It's by Gary Chapman. Mm-hmm. And you can grab that on Amazon or anywhere else for books. It's out there available to purchase. So we encourage you to do that. And then you can also take a quiz on his website for free. We like free things. Yeah. So it's called 5lovelanguages.com. And we'll put the link in the description so that you can grab that and take the quiz for yourself, find out your love language, and then your spouse can take it. They can find out their love language. It's a really cool thing. They actually have stuff for, I didn't realize this, but for kids, for teens, for singles, different quizzes that you can take at those different levels. So we encourage you to check that out.
Yeah, it's super easy, super quick.
Yeah. And so right now, if you haven't done it, why don't you go ahead and take a minute, pause this video and take the quiz to find out your love language, and then come back and we're going to go over all the love languages.
Yeah, we'll wait.
Ready, set, go.
All right.
All right.
Good?
So good.
Got your results?
Got your results.
All right, here we go.
Ready to go.
We just want to kind of run through all of the love languages. There's only 5 of them real quick, and just kind of explain what they are, what they mean, what that might look like in your spouse if that's their top love language, and just kind of some quick thoughts on how you can really make that person really feel loved if that is at the top of their list.
So Aaron's top love language, we're going to start with our top love languages. So Aaron's, can you guess it? It's quality time.
Quality time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I think quality time is just about that like focus and knowing that like I want to really focus on you right now and I want you to focus on me. So for me, like sitting on the couch watching TV with both of us scrolling Instagram, like where that is technically we're together, like that doesn't do it for me. That's not quality time. You know, I want to like leave our phones in the car and go hiking on a trail and, you know, go be where like just each other are together. Mm-hmm. So even for me, I know, you know, parties are not really my thing. Like I don't really like being in big groups of people because I feel like you don't ever kind of get that quality time. So I love when we have another couple over and it's just the 4 of us and we can just have dinner and talk and kind of dig a little deeper. So quality time is definitely something that's really important for me.
Yeah. And I think when we first got married, like that is not top on my list. And so I didn't really understand that as much, that he needed that from me. And so I wish I would have understood that, but now I do. And so things like vacation are really great for us because we can get away. We actually just went on vacation. We can get away, put our phones down, put the texting down, put the emails, the work, everything down, and just really focus on each other. And we have such a great time, and it's such a fun experience that really fills us up and makes us stronger together as a couple. But even just in the day-to-day, finding those moments to just put it down and spend quality time with him, it really fills his cup. So it's definitely a good thing. So number 2.
So Michelle's top one is actually physical touch. So why don't you tell us what that looks like for you?
This is what it looks like for me. Physical touch is definitely my top love language. If you've ever been in a room with me, when I walk into a room, I'm gonna hug everybody and say, hey, what's up? That's like my love language. And that's how I show love, and that's how I like receiving love too. So anytime Aaron might give me a hug, hold my hand, just be next to me, like this is what I love, and that's how I show love. And a funny story about physical touch. So when we first started dating, our families, we got to know our families. Like I would go over for family functions. And when I first met Aaron's family, I love Aaron's family. They're hilarious and they're so fun to be around. And so when I walked in, I just started hugging everybody. Hey, how's it going? What's up? And it was just interesting because it wasn't like their normal thing to do. And I think Aaron like saw it from his perspective too.
My family's not really like big huggers, and we've just never been like real like touchy-feely with things. It's like we love each other, sure, but like we just don't go there a lot. We're not like real touchy. So it was definitely an adjustment when Michelle started coming in and just hugging everyone. It was kind of like, hi, hi. Okay, you know, but over the years, obviously now we've been married 15 years. We've been together for about 17 years. So it's something you adjust to, but it just kind of shows how, you kind of have to learn a person and learn their love language and learn what makes them feel loved and things like that. Because, for me, because my family isn't huge on hugging and touch and things like that, it's something that sometimes I have to like think about. So I think I get better at it, but sure, I love hugging her. I love kissing her. I love holding her hands, things like that. But it's not always my go-to thought to be like, oh, you know what? We're, in a movie theater or sitting at a baseball game. I'm going to put my arm around her, or we're driving in the car. I'm just going to put my hand on her knee or something like that, where that physical touch might really help to kind of fill her cup. It's something that sometimes I have to be like, okay, I should do this because this is something that will make her happy.
Yeah.
And I think it's important too to say that, when you talk about physical touch as a love language, typically this is talking about like non-sexual physical touch. Mm-hmm. So, like all the guys out there that's like, oh, my wife's number one is physical touch. Like it's not trying to like light all these fires all the time or anything like that. It's something that's not, you're not trying to get this to lead to something else later. Right. It's just physical touch for the sake of physical touch and intimacy like that. It's holding hands. It's, things like that. Not like, I'm only doing this right now because I'm hoping that this leads to something else later today, Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the next three that we're going to talk about are on our list, but they're not our top love languages, but we want to talk about them. So number 3 is receiving of gifts.
Yeah.
And this is one that you feel loved by receiving gifts, but not just the act of receiving gifts, but it's like intentional. Like I went out and I got this gift intentionally for you because I really want to show you that I love you by giving you this gift.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's something that, it's not just like any gift that you get makes you super feel loved. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, I know that this is your favorite ice cream. Or, hey, I know that this is something you really like, you personally really like, so I got this for you. And I think that for us, this is actually the lowest on both of our lists. So even though like obviously everyone loves getting gifts, everyone like appreciates it, and we definitely appreciate gifts, that's not necessarily going to like fill our love tank like crazy, like something else might. And so I think that, like we don't really like give each other gifts a lot. Mm-hmm. We don't really like buy gifts for a lot of stuff unless it's something really special and really like thoughtful or something like that. But I think that this is something that's important. If you're someone that receiving gifts is really high on your list or it's your top one, it might, if you don't understand this kind of like love languages idea, you might start to think that like because you love receiving gifts, that you can just patch up a fight or, you screwed up and did something wrong, she's mad. And now I'm just going to come home with some flowers or, some ice cream or whatever. And then she's just going to be like, oh, thank you. No, it's fine now. But you might think, hey, that would do it for me. Like if you came home with like a gift for me, like I'd be totally happy with it, But this is where, sometimes we talk about like the common ground in marriage, and we talk about like speaking the same language and things like that. And I think that that's a really important thing for marriage, is to be able to know when to speak the same language and to find common ground and to do things like that. But when you're talking about love languages, you're really talking about, I have my individual love language that I speak, and you have your individual love language that you speak. So I'm going to put in the time and the effort to learn to speak your love language, and I would hope that you would learn to speak my love language, and you would put in that time and effort too. And I think that giving or receiving gifts is like a great example of that, because like I said, you can't just fix everything with gifts because you like gifts, you know? So
Right.
learning specifically what your spouse needs from you can be a great way to patch things up, to work through things, and to just really connect better as you kind of go through this life together, you know?
That's so good.
Yeah.
So good. All right, number 4. We're getting close to the end.
Two more.
So our next one we want to talk about is acts of service.
Yeah.
Acts of service. And this one is like, put your money where your mouth is. Don't just say you love me, but do something to show me that you love me. And I think Aaron has shown me this, even though this isn't top on my list. I really appreciate when he serves our family, and he'll serve our family through, he does the finances, and that's a way that you're serving. Our lawn needs mowed, he's going to go out and mow it from time to time.
From time to time.
Not all the time.
Sometimes.
Yeah. And so he'll do those things, and it's an act of service, and it's showing me, hey, I care about you.
Yeah.
I love you enough to put myself down and do these things. And it really is a beautiful way to show your love.
Yeah, and I think that that's really like what it is with this one, is it's that sacrificial thing. It's like, you know, it's not about, hey, acts of service is my top thing, so I'm gonna like just tell you what to do all the time, and I'm just gonna expect you to do everything, and I'm gonna be like, go do this. If you don't love me. Go do this. If you don't love me. Because I think it could turn into sort of like a manipulative kind of toxic thing. But it's more like, hey, I love you enough, and I know that this is something that's important to you, that I'm going to try to be proactive, think through these things, and I'm going to say, hey, you know what? I know that you had to work late today, so I did a load of laundry today while you were at work, or I had some free time and I ran to the pharmacy and picked up your prescription, or little things like that, that it doesn't have to be like you know, repainted the entire house, but just little things that show like, I care about you enough that I'm going to help you out with these things because I know it's important to you.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting when you think about the love languages, each one has that side of, I'm doing this because I want to show you that I love you. So you're learning that language that person receives love in, and it's almost like an act of service to learn the love language of that person. And it's like a selfless love. And I think even in the Bible, Jesus was like, if you want to be great in the kingdom of God, if you want to be great, learn to be a servant. And that really is the heart of even like acts of service, is like, I want to show you love in this way.
Yeah.
And I'm going to serve you. So marriage is about serving each other truly, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if I only spoke English and Michelle only spoke Spanish, you know, if all I did was say, well, I speak English and that's just who I am, I speak English, and you just need to figure it out, you need to learn to speak English, you're never going to get anywhere, right? It takes you taking the effort to be like, wow, I really love you, I'm going to learn to like speak the way that you need me to speak, you know, to be able to see that. And so I think, you know, just saying you love someone is great, but like going through these can really help you to show that you love someone and that you actually are willing to put in some effort to love that person.
Yeah.
And so with that, we've got our last one, number 5.
Last one.
Words of affirmation. So words of affirmation is like, not just like tell me you love me, but like tell me specifically what it is and what you see and the things that make you love me. So, you know, just little compliments and things like that can really go a long way with someone who words of affirmation's high. So saying, hey, you know what? Thanks for making dinner tonight. It tasted awesome. That was like the best pasta you've ever made. I loved it. You know, and I think that it's really important with it to make sure that you're like honest about it, not just searching for things and just be like, you look really good today. And you don't like really like, you're not really thinking
about it,
because it can be really easy for you to just kind of come off as fake, or it can come off as forced. And then you might end up kind of doing more harm than good in the situation. You know, something that, you know, hey, my wife like is having a rough day today and she didn't do her hair, she didn't do her makeup, and she's wearing her sweats and she doesn't feel good and she doesn't feel pretty. And I go in and I'm like, oh, I love your hair, it looks good. Like, that can be a really good way for someone to be like, now, are you kidding me right now? Like, you are not being genuine right now. So I think that that's really important to make sure that it's something that's deserved. I know for me, I'm not always great at this, even though I do think it. I tend to be like a really internal person, and so I spend a lot of time kind of up in my head. And so sometimes it like kind of takes work for me to like, when I think something, to actually say it.
Whereas
to be
for
like,
me, I'm like completely opposite. Like I will tell you, I think out loud. So I will tell you like, and I sometimes can fall into that category that Aaron was talking about earlier, where it's like, you know, everything is encouragement and praise. Like we had talked about praising your spouse and pursuing your spouse in one of our latest episodes. And it can turn into feeling like it's not genuine, even though I'm meaning well. Like I love to encourage people. That's something that I just do naturally. But sometimes if it's not specific for Aaron, I need to be specific and tell him, why am I praising him? Why am I encouraging him? Why am I affirming him in this? And I think even as a man, as I'm like telling you and honoring you and affirming you in those specific things, that is like huge for you to hear from me.
And I think part of it kind of depends on the people, obviously. Like I definitely am like a critical thinker kind of person. So like if someone gives me a compliment on things like that, like I do appreciate compliments, but like I need to see that like that was earned and that was like you actually saw what I did. So for me, if someone's just always like, you're awesome, you're awesome, you're awesome, you're great, you're awesome, you're the best, you're awesome, after a while that can kind of lose meaning with me. Even though it's nice to say those things, I think for me, after a while, I'm just kind of like, they just probably say this to everyone. It's just like something they say. So I know for me, like specific things mean a lot more to me. So if someone says, hey, that thing you made, I really liked it, or that food you cooked was really good, or something like that, or hey, that white shirt you wore was really cool. To me, that's a lot better than someone just like always feeling like they're just like throwing it at you, like, oh, you're so great, you're so great, you're so great.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, we made it. All five.
Got
it. Great job if you stuck with us.
Yeah,
the
if
whole
you
time.
didn't, that's okay.
Words of affirmation.
Yeah.
In action.
So, hey, we really appreciate you guys watching these videos.
Yes.
We appreciate all the great feedback we've gotten. We've gotten some words of affirmation from quite a few people now. So it really means a lot to us to know that this is like helping you, or that it's something that you just want to see more of. So whatever platform you're watching this on right now, if you can just like engage, like, comment, subscribe, share, things like that. That's not just for us. That actually helps whatever platform you're watching it on. It helps them to put it in front of more people. We really want to try to reach people, help marriages, things like that. So the more that we can get that in front of new people, the better. Also, if there's anything that we can pray with you for, or if you've got any ideas for something you'd like to see us talk about, or if you have any questions, you can DM us on whatever platform or comment. And also, if you want to email us, you can email us at hello@cultivatemarriage.tv. And we'd love to hear from you. So until next Monday, thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great